All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Season Ticket Holders here, live in the flesh for one of the first times I think I've done a rugby league one like this anyway, with Fox Sports extraordinaire, Queensland superstar, rugby champion,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Josh Bristow. Welcome back, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Good to be in the Dane's casting couch from the murder capital of Perth.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about the Quality Ambassador Hotel that we're currently staying at for to cover Origin 2?
Yeah, well, we were hanging with some Perth media workers, and they sort of caught their name at the hotel we're all staying at. A couple of people from other networks are staying here as well, and he basically said, "Oh, yeah, don't Google that one." So we did, and I think about three different murders over the last 4 years in this very hotel, maybe in this very room.
And Bristow also has a boarded up bathtub, which may now double as a coffin.
Yeah, well, I mean that's got to be the picture for this podcast, right? It's pretty
Uh,
grim.
it is good. I actually have a nice room.
Much better than mine. Much better than mine.
Sorry to rub
I
it.
don't know what I've done.
I did think of the king bed, but it is two singles and a big line in the middle. But it is amazing because we are in Perth, mate, covering Origin. Obviously, only a couple sleeps away now. You've been in Queensland camp. I've been in the Blues camp. Firstly, I mean, you guys had the day off, but do you want to just give us a little bit of rundown? You go first. You did get to cover them over the weekend. Harry Grant lost his wallet. Queensland backs against the wall. What's been going on?
Yeah, well, they got in on Friday with me. And it's interesting because, famously they haven't won a game here, Dane. And the losing margin has been 32 points each time.
Yep.
So they're kind of a bit of a Goldilocks, too hot, too cold, just right. So the first game, they basically had the whole camp in Perth, which I believe became just a huge piss up. They got flogged.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I
and
didn't know
then
that.
the last game, which was it 22,
I think so.
game
Yep. Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
and they also got flogged. But they were like, "All right, we stuffed up our preparation last time. We'll come in like the day or 2 days before the game and just have a hit and run mission." Obviously, they got flogged again. So I think they've hit the midpoint now. Not a full camp, but like almost a full week.
Yeah.
Um, they went for a first training run on Sunday, which was funny because it was at the Uni of Western Australia, and there was hundreds of screaming kids and fans for an under 10 soccer tournament that the Maroons were like training on the very back field.
No one for Queensland.
Yeah, I don't think they knew who they were. There were a couple of Fremantle Dockers there actually though,
Watching the training.
watching the training.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Okay.
must have been
Cool.
invited over, and they had a good win against North Melbourne. Actually, everyone else in this hotel is a North Melbourne fan.
Is that right?
Yeah, misery loves company, I guess.
When in Perth, mate, you got your footy knowledge. And then they obviously got to chill out today. Do you know if they played golf, do you reckon, or not?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely played golf.
They don't play
Yeah,
golf these days. What is it with golf?
I guess if you've got a lot of time and money,
What else?
which rugby league players do.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
No.
no, I just spoke to Harry Grant, and he confirmed that El Capitano was mid-course,
Yeah,
and
right.
that was only a few hours ago. So
Okay, there
yeah,
you have it. That's the big scoop. And I
yeah,
know that New South Wales, same for them. They got in Saturday, trained in Sydney first, and then Sunday had the day off. I tried to find them at a few golf
yeah.
courses, Cottesloe Beach, and then went to
You were
Scarborough.
down on Cottesloe, weren't you? We've been told it's the Bondi of the West, but not in your opinion.
No, no, I don't want to bag Perth, but I didn't get the best first impression driving in. A little bit quieter than I suppose. People say Brisbane, Queensland's a big country town.
Yeah,
I feel like that vibe a tiny bit. Everyone is really lovely in the defense,
yeah,
but
yeah.
definitely Queenslander vibe. What people think of Queensland, a little bit like Perth. But Scarborough, I'd got to Scarborough and that was beautiful. I really liked it up
Mm,
there. Got the fish and chips and the pint of tiger. So
beautiful.
very nice. And by the way, while
Yeah,
we're
good.
here, we better plug the sponsor. Beautiful.
Please reach out, single fin.
Ga-
Dane needs some money.
Gauge Roads, a beautiful drop local to Perth. I tried it many years ago on Airlie Beach and delicious. So
Yeah.
single fin, hello. Yeah, so that's really good. And then I had Blues today and star-studded, mate. It was a star-studded training session. I know you're not a big UFC guy.
No.
Jack Della Maddalena, the current UFC welterweight
Yeah, I think I've
champion.
heard his name.
With the belt, he only won it last month. He was a bit of an underdog against Belal Muhammad. And the first time ever Australia's had two UFC champions with Alexander Volkanovski and
Mm,
Shuna Volk. And it's funny because Volk was in the Blue Mountains to do some sports bet advertising for the
yeah.
first.
You got the scoop through Lomax on that, didn't you?
Well, Lomax said, Volk said nothing to us, but he's staying in the hotel coincidentally. And then
Yeah,
we found out he was shooting a bunch of content. So,
very straight bat.
hush hush with Sportsbet, which don't sponsor me. But Volk was there. They also have that cool video of him, Brian Toto asking him, what do you say? How much?
How much do you make after tax or something? Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
So Volk's a great character, and Jack, man, Jack's just like a very normal. First time I'd met him, super normal, chill guy, very much like Volk. Him, Payne Haas, and Stefano Utoikamanu all held the belt. Payne Haas is a UFC fan. He actually said, "I'm starstruck." That's the
Right.
grab he
There you
used in the
go.
pack. So he was a big fan. Stefano had no idea who he was. Neither did any of the other league journos that I was there with. So I
Right.
did have to carry the flag there a little bit today, but I was. I think Tracy, the media lady, said that he's here. I was like, that's fucking awesome. So
Cool.
no one else cared. But I was pretty stumped, mate. And yeah, big hit out. They trained against the Western Force
Really?
Academy players
Right.
and some like
That's interesting.
yeah, I didn't and some rep Western Australian Rugby League, whatever their sort of representative system is,
Like
combined. That was
the best players from the local comp or
it
something.
must be
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
So that was their final opposed session today. Brian Toto was their only injury concern. He trained, he looked fine. And Jerome Luai, loud as ever, man. His voice really does
Yeah.
boom over
I
that
love
thing.
that grab he gave the other day that he's got that dog in him. Like,
Oh, dude.
I, as a Queenslander, I love the fire he brings, hey.
What did he do? Was it last series where he posted the photo out back Acton?
Yeah. The background to that, though, I believe I've been told, is that he didn't take it on the night. He took it like
That
on Monday and then posted it on Wednesday.
that would
So
make sense because even on Origin Day, like
yeah,
there must have been some drunks still hovering around up until 7 a.m. that
yeah.
day.
So I think a
Like
bit of creative license with that, but it was funny.
he
It was
conned
good.
us. He
Yeah,
conned us.
yeah.
Um,
Pretty
uh,
boss.
but dude, I can tell you the Blues look confident, man. I don't know what you've been seeing with Queensland, but they are sitting pretty. They're going to come into this game as big favourites. I think Queensland were like $3 outside, $3.15 last time I checked.
Yeah.
Um, what's the vibe that you're getting out of Queensland, man? Do you think is there some belief there? They've obviously
Uh,
made some changes.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't really understand any of the changes, really. I mean,
Mm.
unless we're all sort of expecting maybe Billy to do a fast one and change some guys around before kickoff, like an hour, like he has done previously.
Surely Carrigan and Mane did not
I
start
mean,
off the bench.
please,
It
yeah.
wouldn't make any sense. Liero, really? At lock?
Insane,
No.
insane. And then, well, we spoke to Harry like maybe an hour ago, and he said 1 to 17, but that is what he would say, wouldn't he?
Of course. Yeah, yeah. We won't find out until an
Um,
hour before kickoff.
yeah, and then there's sort of that rumor going around that even like Harry might go to the bench, and Kurt Mann comes in and starts at 9,
Have heard that one. Yeah.
which would be interesting. Um,
Because man doesn't really, I mean, he does that same job whilst 14 for the Bulldogs, right? Pretty much.
yeah,
It'd be weird if he
yeah.
suddenly starts at hooker in an Origin game in
And
his debut.
I can't remember the stat, but there some stat about Harry Grant. He hasn't actually won an Origin while he started
So
yet.
Harry Grant has never
Yeah,
won an Origin game while starting, which seems crazy because, like, just
he's such
watching
a
Origin,
gun.
he's always had big Origin runs. I mean, the amount of times he scored a crucial try in an
Yeah.
Origin game, burrowing over from close, or like he's had his moments in Origin, but the fact that, yeah, he's never got it done when he starts. I mean, Ben Hunt, obviously, that combo,
Mm.
they've always had a good combination, but it seems insane to me. Like, he's been a great player, but he has had injuries. I think he was just coming off one during the first game, and that was probably his worst Origin game in game one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the sort of maybe hope for Queensland is that many players can't have their worst game again, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That if you wanted to cling to something. But yeah, I mean, in terms of confidence though, it's a very low key camp, I have to say. I mean, we had all the drama of DCE being sacked, but now
yeah,
that's out of the way. It's been very drama free for Queensland, maybe even boring.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they're quietly confident, but they have to be, right?
Mate, you talk about boring too, man. This Origin series, this build up, like we try and get the stuff out of the Blues, and they just will not give an inch. Like I know that's like
Yeah,
the modern day player, but they just
yeah,
don't want to give you anything. They don't want to give anything that could be used to run away with the other team. And
yeah.
Queensland has been the same, right?
Yeah, I mean the Spencer Leniu is the biggest one, like the biggest straight bat of all time with
Yeah,
everyone. Billy did say that it was his decision not to kick off to him.
yeah,
That was basically the only sort of thing we've had out of him. I asked Lindsay Collins some stuff, sort of danced around it, tried to sort of ask it, did he give you stuff at training back at Roosters? And he also didn't want to engage in that at all. But yeah, that's probably the most spice out of it, isn't it? But
Well, him running down the sidelines and like getting into the Queenslands was the spiciest thing to
yeah.
really come out of that game one too, right?
Yeah, I mean that shot they got when he realized that they weren't kicking off to him, and I think he clearly mouthed like pussies.
He started going nuts, man. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool Origin moment, I think. But
It was. Without
yeah,
him, like that would be what would we really be talking about? Like that's dominated this Origin headlines for these last two games.
yeah,
Spencer, media ban. He's even sort of taken the shine off Latrell, just flat out not talking to the media. We haven't
Yeah,
spoke
Latrell's still
about.
not talking.
We don't, man. We don't talk about it
Yeah,
because
right.
he didn't do anything crazy in game one. He was sort of well contained, but he was solid.
He had that
And
nice little tip on pass.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's been in great form for the Rabbitohs, and he didn't look out of place there. But we don't talk about it because Spencer's sort of just dominated those
Mm.
headlines. And the Blues guys, man, they won't give us anything about them. They're just all super nice guys. As a
Yeah,
Queenslander, it
it's a
pains
very
me to say.
likable team, isn't it? I think we were talking about it the other day.
Yeah,
I can't, yeah.
yeah.
Like even agitators like Luai, like I think he's great for the game, so I can't
So
even really hate him either.
So do I. He's one of those guys of like, your old molds of maybe like a Justin Hodges or something. You love him when he plays
Yeah,
for your team, but
yeah,
if
that's
you're
a
in
good comp.
opposition, yeah, yeah, you,
Yeah,
you you don't like him at all. And I have a lot of time for Jerome. The fact that he just got called into camp, he just finished Tigers training, and Laurie Daly obviously really liked him. Like he would have been close to getting picked in that game one, but to him to come in and replace Mitch Moses, very unlucky. I was out in the Blue Mountains when that all sort of broke. That he yeah, did his what did he do? I don't remember now, but
calf, didn't he? I
yeah,
think. Yeah,
calf strain. That's right. Well, they were
yeah,
doing their opposed session, and so I was out there in the Blue Mountains when that went down. But I mean, shit, bringing in Jerome Luai as a replacement, a
yeah. I
four-time
mean,
premiership winning drill with Nathan Cleary.
talk about the sort of the low key build up. Like, yes, they've lost a half, but it's not like they've had to scrounge around and find, a reserve grade player. They've got like maybe the best halves partnership of the NRL era. So
100%.
it's
But
not really like you can manufacture
four premierships,
something like
man.
that.
I was a little bit unsold on Luai at rep level up until probably
Mm.
maybe even last series. I mean, he was the one that
He was
broke it
really good
open.
in game three, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he was the one who broke it open to score the try that got them in front. And
Yeah.
yeah, he was a little bit the difference in that moment. So mate, it's going to be tough. And yeah, obviously we will have now the captain's call. That's our last sort of big media. Obviously, the team walks on the Wednesday on game day, but we'll hear from the coach and captain tomorrow. I know what Isaiah Yo's like, man. I spoke to him the other day, and he wasn't giving me anything, mate.
Yeah, right.
He's
He's
lovely,
a huge human, isn't he? I only saw him for the first time in the flesh in game one. He's a large lad.
mate. Towers over me.
And the
Towers over me
the
so hard.
perfect triangle torso.
Oh mate, he's yeah, that back man, Jesus, I gotta do
Yeah.
my lat pull downs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. I asked him what the difference with the Origin was, and being captain, he said he led them out. So that's all he gave me.
He's not wrong.
No, no, he's very true. Maybe I
Yeah.
should ask him better. But yeah, what are you thinking, mate? Obviously, I know Yoey's not going to give us too much tomorrow. What are you thinking Tuesday? It's going to be pretty routine. They're doing it at, is it like a mall they're going to do it at to try and pump
Yeah,
up the game?
I believe they're doing that's what they did last time. It's like in a sort of to bring it back to a Queensland reference, basically like the Queen Street Mall.
Yeah,
They set up a
yeah.
table and have heaps of fans there. How do you think how do you think Perth sort of embraced it or not embraced it? Have you had any?
I was just thinking that actually.
Yeah.
I walked down to the mall when I got here Saturday afternoon, and I wouldn't have known Origin was on because they just in that mall I think you're talking about, they have the banners on that main street, which is very similar to like a Queen
Yeah.
Street or something like that, Pitt Street in Sydney or something like that, but a smaller version. If it wasn't for that, and then I think this afternoon, Monday afternoon, I was going past a bus stop. There was like a old, like a bunch of 60-year-old type people, one in Queensland gear and two in New South Wales, and that's the first time I'd seen any
Yeah.
merch on the street.
Right.
So I did get to see Optus Stadium first time. I did a little run around the river out there. Beautiful looking
It's so
stadium.
sick. Yeah, I'm excited for you to experience a game there on Wednesday.
Mate, sellout crowd. What is it? 60,000.
Yeah.
It's going to be
You're
epic.
right on top of it too.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. And it'll be interesting about. But what have you noticed, same to you, about how Perth? This is the second time for you covering it here?
Yeah, yeah, I sort of agree with you. Yeah, you wouldn't really know it's on. I've had a couple of funny like interactions that, like when you're set up with all your cameras and stuff, people pop their heads out and go like, "Oh, what's this?" And then as soon as you explain, "Oh, it's the Queensland," you always have to say rugby team, otherwise they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And they sort of instantly go like, "Oh, yeah, I don't care."
Yeah, yeah.
Or we had a couple of work with a couple of like Perth cameramen who don't know who any of the players are, and the Maroons media manager will come out, and then the camos will mic up the media manager,
That tells you everything.
which is Hilly is a great guy. I don't know if he looks like an athlete though, but
I wouldn't have thought it, but
yeah.
yeah, no, it's interesting, man. And for the Perth reference too, we haven't actually spoken about this beautiful jersey that
Thank
you
you
are
very
wearing.
much.
Please talk us through it and how much is it worth? It's Antique Roadshow for jerseys, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's probably worth less than what I paid for it, but it's nice. I actually had the sponsor put back on because when I bought it, it was all flaking off.
Really,
Yeah, that's my level of
you've had a
nuttiness there.
modification. For people
Yeah.
listening, it is the Western Reds. It's an original.
Yeah, it is.
What year?
This because it's got the NSW, it's a 94, so it's actually before they ever entered the comp. So
Okay,
I believe it would have been like they announced the team.
and the 95 was that their first year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
okay.
they would have announced it in 94 and then had these made up, but then obviously they renamed themselves the ARL the
And
next year.
who didn't love cash converters back in the day? That's where you get all the cheap PlayStation games.
Yeah. It's a great rugby league sponsor, isn't it?
It's a classic. That must have been an
Yeah.
old logo too. I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, mate. But yes, with Perth, obviously we're Reds. I got to go HBF Park, which is where they had their training session today.
Which is where the Bears will play, right?
Yep, so I
Yeah.
got to, man, beautiful. The grass was amazing, really good
Cool.
grass.
Right.
Big grandstand on one side, enough that sort of goes all the way around. Had like a really nice suburban feel to it. I actually was blown away by how good it was. I think for the Reds,
Yeah.
um, coming in, the Bears, sorry, we're getting on Reds. The Perth Bears coming in, I think actually think it's going to be the perfect home. Have you seen it before?
I've walked past it. Yeah, I haven't been inside it. I'm one of the three people that watch Western Force games occasionally.
Oh, so you
So,
know what it like looked like on TV.
and it does look nice. I guess, and Perth Glory play there as well, don't they, as well? I
That's
think,
right,
yeah.
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 But it's got a bit of charm. Like it's got like that old
Mm.
Perth Oval part to it, but then you've got like the main grandstand, which is obviously newer, and it looks like it's just been kept in perfect nick. I mean, I don't know how many games it's holding at the moment, but
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think Perth Glory are historically bad, and
they have
the
been.
Western Force are the Western Force. So I don't think they've been playing many finals there in recent weeks. So the grass probably did wasn't untouched. Yeah.
What is just quickly? I mean, obviously we got the Origin, but we are here in Perth. We're talking about it now. But what is your gut feeling with the Bears coming in? Because we're here on the ground. We've seen how they sort of like
Mm.
their rugby league. This is your second time.
Yeah,
You're obviously a big Perth fan.
day one.
What's your
Yeah.
what are just your thoughts?
Yeah, like we've been laughing about how no one knows who the players are, and all the kids at Maroons training didn't know who they are. But I will say, every time I have spoken to a sand groper, is that what we call them?
Is that right?
Yeah, a Perth person, a
Okay.
WA person.
Sandy.
Yeah, they seem quite open and you know, quite happy with the fact they're getting a rugby team.
Yeah.
They always do say, "Oh yeah, no, I hope the rugby goes well."
Nice.
But yeah, no, a couple of the cameramen I was just working with from Perth, and they were like, "Oh, I hope it goes well." So
Yeah.
I think they're open to it, and they're pretty. I think they just like Perth teams, right? Like when you've got to be good. Like if you look at crowds for the Perth Wildcats, the Scorchers, West Coast played yesterday. They're like having one of the worst seasons ever,
And the crowd looked all right on
and the
TV.
crowd was packed.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think Perth will get around it, and I've looked it up. I believe that the Reds were getting decent crowds, but I think what basically killed them was the Super League war more than anything
I
else.
remember seeing that. They actually weren't doing too bad. I think it was
Yeah,
at least like
better than a
15,000.
lot of Sydney clubs, which
100%. They'd be
yeah,
doing better than the Sharks if they got put in tomorrow.
yeah,
It's not hard. Just that stadium that needs fixing. Cool, mate. Well, I can't wait. Bring on Wednesday night.
yeah,
I guess before you go, mate, we've got to hear the big tip. Like, in all honesty, we are Queenslanders,
we
but
are. Yeah, as Billy likes to say,
if you, we've been through floods, man. We've been through a lot.
get enough footy on.
That's right. What's your gut? What heart, head? Tell me what you're thinking.
I mean, my heart desperately wants Queensland to win.
Can they?
I don't think they can, to be honest. I'm pretty down on this team. I think a lot of the problems I have with the team, I feel are self-inflicted, like some selections. I really still can't believe that Horsburgh is not in the team.
Hmm.
He should be starting, not not even playing. And the Blues, I don't think the Blues even played particularly well in game one.
Yeah, definitely not goal kicking. If they get their goal kicking
Yeah.
right, that could have been
Yeah,
a real
so
bloodbath.
I really think if they can click into gear and take it up a notch, they could put another cricket score on us, like they have at this venue. I don't know what it is about Perth. Um, yeah, as a journo as well, I really want Queensland to win because
Of course.
a game three dead rubber is going to be a hard carry.
Yeah, we always wanted to side him, man.
Yeah.
Um,
How about yourself?
Look,
I think your Queensland spirit is you still have some Queensland
I
spirit.
do, just like
Yeah.
my Broncos, my Queensland.
Jeez.
I really do think they can win.
Yeah. Where do you think they can win it?
I just feel like they have made mistakes, and I feel like Billy Slater is under pressure. I think Corey Horsburgh 100% should be in this team. I think if Carrigan and Nane don't end up starting, that's just insane. Like, that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me at all. The Harry Grant Kurtman thing, like, I wouldn't hate it if they did swap, but I also think you've just got to put your best hooker and start him.
Yeah.
Um, but I would have, and dropping Bo Fermor made no sense. Like, there's just a lot of things.
Yeah.
And Billy is prickly with the media. I know he's put a lot of people offside just with the way that he handles it. He come across as arrogant and that type of thing.
He's under pressure big time, I think.
Right? You
Yeah.
can feel it, right?
Yeah, definitely I mean, it's easy to say, isn't it? When you're winning, it's all good. But yeah, a marked difference
Mm.
from those first two series. to now.
And
But yeah,
and following the Blues, it's just the complete opposite. Because I hear the Queensland journos like you tell me,
yeah,
and then I'm in the New South Wales journos bubble, and it is the complete opposite. Laurie Daly is the most chill, nice dude in the
yeah.
world. His first press conference when he announced his first team, he just had his legs crossed underneath the desk, leg back. If you just say hello to him, mate, he's super friendly. I always say,
That's
"Hey,
cool.
Loz, how are you?" And he'll literally look at you and go, "Oh, how are you, mate?" Like
Yeah,
he's not just gonna walk by. I'm not saying that makes a good coach, but he's obviously created a pretty relaxed atmosphere
yeah,
in that, even more so than we know what Madge can be like.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
we've seen Tales of Tiger Town.
yeah,
Laurie couldn't be any further from that, but he's been able to grow with the group that Madge brought in, going to the Blue Mountains, all that type of stuff. And they're going to be fired up. I think they might get caught out potentially with complacency. I don't
yeah.
know.
Okay.
They're big favorites. They're coming to Perth. They know they've got a good record. They're expected to win. I don't know. Them being such big favorites in a game two like this might be a bit of a record. I didn't check my sports bet facts, but
Mm.
Queensland being outside $3 is massive. Like that's for a game where every game in Origin is in a vacuum. I keep saying that over and over again. But
Yeah,
like teams normally do bounce back from a big loss in Origin. You don't normally
yeah,
see a series where there's big scores back to back to back.
yeah,
Like that's just what I'm thinking. So I just think Queensland can pull it out, but if they are to, it's all going to come down to Cameron Munster, the captain, the guy who can
he's
bring
got to,
this.
yeah, he's got to have a game, doesn't
He's
he? Yeah,
the X factor. I think the only way that they can win is if he sort of puts them on the back. Harry Grant obviously needs to play a normal game, like he had a terrible game that time.
yeah,
And Tom did, and I don't doubt what he can do. I already talked about. I am worried about the long kicking game for them and who's going to do it.
yeah,
I also think Mitch Moses is a big blow for New South Wales. Even though we talked about how good Jerome Luai is. I do think he is a blow, not having him in there. So look, maybe it is my heart just overreaching my head a little bit, but I'm still going to go that Queensland can do it. We get it a
I hope
side
you're
up
right.
back in Sydney, and in a tight, grinding, close contest where Queensland just edged them in the end and hold on.
Yeah, I would love that as well.
But you don't think you
I'll
think
go with
Queen,
that.
but you're gonna say
Well,
Queensland
I
wins
just
though.
where do you? My thing is, where are the points going to come from? We haven't been able to score
Back-to-back games now, pretty
a
bad.
try, yeah. And like I think Dearden's in the team for his heart, right? I
Yeah.
don't think of him as a huge, Benji Marshall type
No, you're right.
try creator.
He's almost just the perfect example of what New South Wales hate, but Queensland love to say Queensland spirit. He is actually the perfect example
He
of
is,
that type
yeah,
of player. Never
yeah,
gives up. He performs twice his size from his actual size. He's just
yeah,
incredible. But he also backs it up his attack, so
yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
yeah.
All right, mate. I can't wait. Thanks for joining me. We are staying in the same hotel, of course, and another shout out to Singlefin. Cheers to you, Bristow.
Yes, guys.
To the Murder Hotel and the boarded up coffin. Thank you very much for listening, guys, and all the support. Thank you, Bristow.
No worries, mate.
Oh, most awkward
Okay.
handshake ever. I hope people are listening. Don't look at that. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. I'll do a post Origin show later this week and tune in Wednesday night, man. Bring it on. Let's go.